Last year, we had a little bit of a challenge in Nigeria. We saw so many startups in Nigeria fail. Specifically in Africa, of the 20 largest tech companies that failed, 9 of them were from Nigeria. And we had a total loss of over $200 million. $70 million came from Nigeria, a huge loss. Recently, a group of young people had a failure in their startup. They announced that they were going to refund $350,000 to their investors. And what was the problem? They said that their product was not able to find a product market fit. This begs the question, what exactly is the problem? In 2021, a study was also conducted in Saudi Arabia in Prince Satam bin Abdulaziz University in Saudi Arabia. This study was conducted with over 300 female students. And it was asked how much of social media they use. And 97% of them use social media. But only 1% uses social media for learning. And this begs the question again, what exactly is the problem? When you come to Nigeria, there's so much obsession with social media. There's so much obsession with following trends. We are so obsessed with trends. In China recently, there's a hashtag they call hashtag dress down to work. Dress down to work, they'll dress gross to work. They wear every kind of horrible kind of dress just to go to work. And they do this because they want to campaign against how they are being treated at their place of work. But in Nigeria, it's slightly different because we are so much obsessed with trends. And I'm sure many of us know that recently, one of the most famous trends in Nigeria today is our obsession with breaking the Guinness Book of World Records. And you will see that the likes of Cryathon, Cookathon, Praisathon, Washathon, I mean, all the tons. And I wonder why we are not producing anything. We don't see the young people build sustainable businesses because we are so much obsessed with the celebrity lifestyle that we find online. And rather than being creative about what we are going to do for the next generation, what we can build, we are obsessed with what we see online. And many of us, we know that thing that we see online is not true, but yet we're obsessed with it. Only 1% of people who scroll through social media actually use it for learning. Then I ask myself one question. Why is it that this generation cannot do anything? And I know that a few of us are building something significant, but majority of us are not building anything. Majority of us spend our time. That survey that was done in 2021, it was discovered that an average Nigerian spends 3 hours, 32 minutes online daily. If you take that figure right now, you will discover that it's more than 6 hours daily that we spend online. And you see that the time that we put our brains to work, time that we'll be able to be creative, we spend it online following trends and just scrolling. And when I ask myself this question, why we in our time could not build something sustainable for the future like the people of old, and I came to the conclusion that if we must move forward to the future, we need to get back to the past. I looked at the life of someone like Peter Obi. Peter Obi was someone who became chairman of Fidelity Bank at the early age of 37. He was the youngest serving chairman of Fidelity Bank. We look at somebody like Tony Elumelu. Tony Elumelu started the Standard Chartered Bank at the age of 33. 33 years old. Atedo Pitosai started the Stanbic Bank, now Stanbic IBTC, at the age of 33. And our very own one of our speakers, Mr. Paul, started the Landmark Group at the age of 32. And you ask yourself, what are you doing at these ages? I was on an airplane with him when we were coming from Enugu. And he asked me, what will you be talking about? I said, we want to try to find out why you could do what you were doing now, and people in our time could not do that. And he said, they will have to drop their phones first. The mobile phone has been the greatest tool of our generation, but yet our greatest undoing. And this is coming from someone who has been in the mobile industry for more than 20 years. I actually still want you to buy mobile phones from us. But I tell you, it's been our greatest problem. He said they will have to drop their phones first, fold their sleeves, and put their hands to work. Don't want to work. He said as early as 2 years ago, I still go down to the reception and try to get a feel of what it is to engage with customers. We see that the get rich quick of our people is making us not wanting to be able to put our hands to work. Recently, the company that folded and was returning $350,000 actually raised $2.3 million. One of the startups that failed last year, one of the challenges the investors had with the co-founder was that she was paying herself the sum of $15,000 monthly. What do we need to do? Things that we need to do is very simple. We need to go back to the past. In order for us to have a future, we need to go back to the past. We need to ask these ones, what is it that you did that made you successful? What do we need to do now? I'll take it in 3 points. Number 1, change your circles. Many of us have very close friends, nice people, good friends. But you discover that to go to where you are supposed to be, you need to change those people. You need to have a little bit of people who can influence the way you think. People who don't tell you that all your life revolves around the mobile phone. I know there's a crave that we should all try to build something in line. And I know everyone is a content creator. But you ask yourself this question: how sustainable is what you're doing going to be? In order to build something sustainable, you need to put your hands to work. Change your circle. A study has shown that over a 10-year period, you will earn an average of 10 to 20% of the people around you. So if you have the right people around you, you will earn more. You will be exactly the same person you are today in the next 5 years, except for the books you read or the people you hang around with. You need to hang around the right people. Secondly, seek counsel. The Bible will say, in the multitude of counselors, there's safety. And I tell you, it's actually counselors, not your friends. Counselors, people that will direct you in the right path. Ask a lot of questions. I see a lot of young people try to build something, but we have this crave that we know everything because we have access to the internet. But you need to ask the people who have been there before you. People who have walked through that path. They went through all the hurdles so that you don't have to. Number 3, you should have delayed gratification. Many of us want to be rich so quickly. You know, I have traveled to 17 countries in my life. 17. 9 of them was only last year. And when people see me traveling last year, they think that I just came out of the scene. And then you see that kind of life, and you want to achieve it without investing. I've been in my industry for 20 years. And I can tell you that I have paid my dues. So you need to have delayed gratification. You need to allow what you are building to grow. If you've made a lot of money, reinvest into what you're doing. Reinvest into what you're doing. Reinvest into what you're doing until you can live the kind of life that you want. You see, many of these people today, you may not have heard about them, especially these people who have crossed this path before us. You now see them now, you want to live the kind of life. You don't see what they have sown, all the energy they've put to work. Please, don't get that gratification now. You need to delay it. Thirdly, if you find whatever it is that you want to do, stay on it. there's been this language of multiple streams of income. Multiple streams of income. And people say so much about multiple streams of income. I say one stream of income. I know it's not the cliche, it's not like what you would like to hear, but there's no person that has attained the height that he has attained doing so many things. They just do one thing. You talk about, mention any name that you want. You discover that they do just one thing because you put all your energy to it. You put all your resources to it. What you think about, what you sleep about is about this one thing. If you must do something else, it has to be something in the same value chain of what you're about to do. Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook and discovered that Instagram was supposed to be a competition. He bought Instagram. He has created Threads. When you try to deviate and go into something else, you lose focus on what you want to do. You do so many things at the same time, you become master of none. You can barely survive, you can be okay, but you will not be exceptional. So in order for us to be able to make way in the future, you need to get back to the past. Thank you.